There, that's cute. Casual disarray.
Hello, I'm bad at blending, and this is my plucky sidekick.
A baked potato.
It's like Elisa Summers and Jiggly Caliente.
You can call me Jiggly.
I'm Yvonnedeculo.
And I'm Jay Gloom.
And welcome to Victory Lap, the after show where we will be discussing the episodes of Season 8 of
Rupaul Drag Race.
She's given you Beverly Hills washerwoman on a budget.
I was thinking crazy cat lady buys a bottle of self-tanner for the first time.
Every single Wednesday, we are going to be discussing each episode of Season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we'll be kind of recapping what happens in the episode in honor of 100 episodes and the main challenge for this episode, which was for the queens to tackle a previous design challenge as one of their own outfits. I decided to take on the Queen Who Mocked Christmas from Season 3.
And I decided to do Jinx Monsoon as Little Edie. It's Little Edie after the alopecia, after everything's been repossessed. There's nothing but human filth and excrement everywhere. She doesn't know what's happening. She grew sideburns. She grew some sideburns.
She glued on some
sideburns. She painted on some chola eyebrows, and she said,
This is good enough.
This is good. I feel pretty.
So this season we have only 12 queens, which is 2 less than what we've been getting normally. It's throwing me off a little bit, but I'm actually living for every single one of them, plus or minus like 2.
Honestly, I can say that this season, I love or respect every single queen.
Yes, I respect all of them. I may not quite like all of them, but I cannot deny that they are fierce.
They are so fierce because I think every season there's at least 1 or 2 girls where you're like,
how did you get here?
You were the fan vote, weren't you?
Darien Lake.
Penny Trash.
Who? We all know who the queens are. Let's just talk about the episode. Every season that I've watched, I think this was the season I was supposed to be on. But truly, Season 8 was the season that I was supposed to be on. I wish I had been as snatched now as I was when I auditioned, which I clearly was not ready to be on the show. I needed more time to bake. This episode was jam-packed with history and references to old episodes because this is actually the 100th episode. Which is insane. 100 episodes.
Ru has lasted this long. She's still kicking.
I'm surprised that Michelle's made it this long.
Girl, you know Michelle changed up her diet. Side note, shout out to Miss Michelle Visage because all I could think about was how damn good Michelle Visage's cheekbones looked.
She was snatched.
They were art.
First photo challenge of the season was to pose with all the previous winners plus a surprise guest, a actual circus clown, because Bianca Del Rio couldn't make it.
No, poor Bianca.
This photo challenge was really fun, and I liked the idea of posing with all of the queens to kind of show if you have what it takes to be up there with them. And I think most of these girls held their ground.
I think most of them did very well, with a few noticeable exceptions.
I think Layla was the only one who really fell drastically behind.
I think you could just tell that she didn't feel fierce in that outfit and those shoes next to all those girls.
To be fair, I probably would have done the same thing. I probably would have actually shat my pants, and I probably would have used that as a prop. I would have smeared it on myself like war paint, and then just kind of like stood on top of the couch screaming. I personally felt like Derek slayed this photo challenge.
She was so fierce. She used props.
She
ate
every
up
inch
that
of that
stage. She pissed on it. She left her mark on it. I loved it.
Derek and Kim Chi were my 2 favorites. And I think what really made me so mad as we get to is the main challenge distribution, which was the queens getting to pick their outfit that they were gonna do, and it was chosen at random. Morgan McMichaels came out, which I appreciate Morgan coming out and firing anything out of her asshole because she's very talented at
Who
that.
doesn't?
She's very good at that.
She is.
But you know, I thought it was so unfair to make Robbie do that. It was like a bingo, you
Like,
know? It just pops it out and there's a name.
B52.
And every other season, I mean minus season 7, the winner of the photo challenge got to distribute the looks. And I thought it was a little unfair that whoever the winner of the photo challenge didn't get to distribute, because I feel like that would have been a little more on the fair side for me.
Though to be fair, there was no winner of the photo challenge.
There wasn't, but there should
The
have been.
photo challenge was just a component in the entire thing.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Robbie did not have a fierce photo.
Robbie did have a
Because
fierce
she
photo.
was certainly top, I would say 3 or 5.
Yes.
As far as photos go, just laid out, feeling her Jean Harlow, Norma Desmond fantasy, mopping Jinx Monsoon's gig. It was
That moment where
fierce.
she walked in and she was wearing the same wig as Jinx, it was like when India came in and it was at Phoenix. They both had the same
Prison
wig.
Honey.
It was the same kind of moment.
I also thought that Naomi did really
Naomi's
well.
photo was so fierce.
It was fierce. It was fierce. There's something a little bit off about Naomi's face for me, but her face just looks a little like a mask. The body is so fierce, and then she's got these fierce wigs that are well hydrated and they are ready for whatever she throws at them. But then she just kind of paints her face one color and then does, you know, the eyes and eyebrows.
All of the looks were distributed
By Robbie.
by Robbie, and I was curious on why some of them were included. Like, I feel personally like the Float Your Boat challenge was a little unfair.
A little off.
To make someone create an entire boat. And I feel like they could have done the
Something
Born
else.
Naked. I feel like they could have thrown in the party boxes from season 6. I feel like they could have even done a television show box. You know what I think would have been really fierce for this challenge is if they had done individual queens, and if they had had like an Adore Delano box and there's like pizza inside, and they pulled out a Bianca Del Rio box and there's like a clown nose, and they pull out Pandora box and there's nothing but blonde wigs. I think it's hilarious that most of what was given to the queens for their items to wear their costumes were kind of like the winning looks. Like they got Willem's boat, they got Sharon's poodle, they got curtains that looked a little bit like Morgan's. But I thought what was really funny is giving, for the cake challenge, the losing look, which was red velvet cake. You want to give Stacey Lane Matthews some
It's Stacey Lane
representation.
Matthews. Come on, Stacey Lane Matthews.
I think also, I feel like this challenge was a little unfair, besides the fact that it was all different looks, is how do you judge everyone fairly?
I mean, this was just completely different things. And what were they basing it on? Were they just basing it on like how the previous queens did it, and in comparison, like did it stack up? Or were they basing it on just how well did you do in and of yourself?
I think they were doing it, how well did they construct their outfit compared to the other queens around them. And I personally think that it should have been judged kind of in a scale of how would this queen have done in comparison to the past queens? Like Naomi's boat. Was her boat better than Willem? No. Was it
Her
worse?
boat wasn't better than Jiggly's.
Was it worse than Jiggly's and Milan's? I think it was better than Jiggly's. I think it was worse than Milan's, so I think she would have been bottom too. And I think the same thing goes for Chi-Chi. I don't think her couture looked anything like Dripping in Jewels. I didn't get that at all from it. I would have thought she was doing disco. I thought Dancing with the Stars, Laganja's box.
Yes. Oh.
What fell off of me?
Girl, she's falling apart.
She's going through it.
She's going through it.
And so I think, you know, there were queens that were safe, who I think maybe should not have been safe.
Yes.
Because if you had compared them to the previous queens who won and lost those challenges, I think there were other queens in there that did worse. Like, Layla built a fucking jacket. Maybe
That
her whole
jacket.
outfit,
That jacket
it was art.
sickening.
Maybe she didn't have a bottom to it, but did she do worse than Elisa and Jiggly? No. She was in the same category I would put her in with
Yeah.
Sharon. I
Yeah.
think she would have placed 2. Nobody could ever top Sharon. but who would want to top Sharon? I think that she was easily second place if she had been a part of the Rupaul competition.
Yes, but I also think that's why they really included the photo shoot in the beginning, because then that way, you know, it was like, well, here's a baseline. Here's something that you all had the chance to do that was exactly the same. We're going to give you a certain amount of points for that, and then we're going to look at what you created, tally them up, you know, is it 10s across the board? Is it, you know, I'm sorry, my dear, go back to Puerto Rico.
My favorite runways were Acid Betty and Kimchi. They were flawless from head to toe, especially Kimchi. She deserved her win. And honestly, I think that Robbie's dress was the worst dress right next to Naysha's, and I feel like it was such a farce to make Layla lip sync, and I understand it was in part due to her photo.
Due to the fact.
I mean, like, Naysha probably would have still gone home anyways because she was just completely defeated the moment it happened.
It was one of the worst.
Because even
to quote Santino Rice.
Even, I mean, like, this was Serena Cha-Cha bad.
Oh.
It looked like she sprayed whipped cream all over herself. She looked like she took whipped cream and just sprayed herself with it.
Do you know who she looked like?
Who?
She looked like Snowho. She looked like Shangela Snowho.
She looked like Frostula.
She looked like Frostula, and it was unfortunate.
Shangela's little snowman. I really liked Thorgy's. Even though it was safe, I really liked it. I thought making the cake was cute. It was
the
it
cake
was a
with
gag
candle.
moment for me.
You know, Thorgy, I don't hate Thorgy. I kind of like her energy. Something about the outfit, like, it was beautiful on its own. Something about it was off for me.
Really? I thought it was cute.
I thought it was cute, but maybe it's because she did the same, like, Bozo the Clown hair that she did for her coming in thing. And so for that reason, she kind of falls under the same category for me as Acid Betty, where it's like, I like what you do. It's good, and it's clearly what you do, but did you bring any other wigs? Do you know what I mean?
Courtney got through the entire competition with only 2 wigs, so...
Did she have 2? I think she just had 1, and then she just put some pieces in it. She put on a bang piece. I
thought it was gag worthy. It was a safe gag.
It was safe. It was certainly safe.
It was like when you are deep throating a guy who's not very big, and so you gag to make him feel like he's bigger than he is. It was that kind of gag.
Was it a pity gag?
It was a pity gag.
Oh my goodness.
So big.
Babe, there was something missing for me. You know, like if she didn't have the cake with her...
It wouldn't have said red velvet.
It wouldn't have said red velvet. It almost looked to me like it would have been more suited to the Dripping in Jewels challenge.
Yes.
Just add the rubies to it.
I personally was a little offended by Naomi's outfit that she didn't match her outfit to her boat, because that was the whole part of the challenge.
It should have been blue. It should have been blue.
So the lip sync for Your Life, Naysha going home, was so upsetting to me.
It was really sad.
The lip sync song was a Gaga song. Yes, Gaga. Yum.
Not Since Bad Romance.
Yum. I'm just so glad they picked Applause. Like, of any of the Gaga songs to do, that was a good one.
It was a good one. It was relevant. It was in the moment, and I lived for it. And you could tell from the minute Rue had to decide which of the bottom 3 was going to lip sync against each other, to the minute she said who was going to stay, who was going to sashay away.
You could tell she
was so conflicted. She was going through it.
She was.
I have never seen Rue look so visibly conflicted
since season 1, and when she had to step away to declare that BB could stay.
Genuinely conflicted.
RuPaul Andre Charles
had a
conflicted.
Moment. She was going through it. Speaking of RuPaul Andre Charles, can we talk about the Pharrell hat in the beginning and how hats is Rue's thing this season?
Hat was so fierce.
Rue is into hats this season because she's got one in the preview for next week. She's got a hat.
Next week there's going to be some kind of drama, which I'm really excited about. And Rue gets on the phone.
Rue gets on the
first time.
But you know what's most exciting about next week?
What? Oh my gosh, Lucien. Oh my gosh, I want him to sit on my face. I want him to do anything that he wants to me.
Lucien Piani is coming back.
Oh my gosh, he makes me wet. My pussy is wet thinking about Lucien.
She's not even tucked and it's coming out. She's coming out. You're in my light.
Well, we're unprofessional and our battery's running out, so this may be the end.
Give us a like, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And tune back next week because we're gonna keep doing this, whether you like it or not.
Say goodbye to her.
Just disappear. I should have done the whole thing like this.
That would have been so much better.